The 7 psychological triggers that make women chase you. The truth no one wants to say out loud. There's a line Ethan Blake, 38, a clinical psychologist, a man who's seen it all, only dared to write in the very last page of his journal. Women crave to be deeply seen, and yet they fear it more than anything else. And after thousands of hours sitting across from him, behind the makeup, the charm, the stories, he uncovered a quiet truth most men miss. What women truly want isn't perfection, it's presence. Not a man who impresses them, not a man who fixes everything, but a man who can sit with their chaos without trying to control it. A man calm enough, still enough to understand them, even when they don't understand themselves. That's the kind of man who doesn't chase. He listens, he sees, and in doing so, he becomes unforgettable. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some women pull away when you get too close? It's not because you did something wrong. It's because being seen feels vulnerable. But when you learn to hold that space with strength and silence, without judgment, that's when she leans in, not out of fear, but because she finally feels safe enough to be real. That's where the connection begins, not in the performance, but in the presence. Quiet, grounded, stoic, unshakable. And that is what makes all the difference. Part 1. Intensity is not intimacy. There's a fine line most men never learn to see. One night, Leah looked Ethan in the eyes and said softly, "I don't know if I love you, or if I'm just addicted to how you make me feel." Let that sink in, because emotional intensity, the rush, the thrill, the butterflies, isn't the same as emotional intimacy. Most women, even the strong and self-aware ones, can mistake the two. And the truth is, a man can make her feel deeply seen, desired, and vulnerable, without ever saying the word love. But the feeling? It feels like love. You see, she's not chasing labels. She's chasing sensations. And if you know how to hold her emotions, not fix them, not manipulate them, but hold them with presence, you can become the one man she can't stop thinking about. But here's the catch. If you confuse intensity with something deeper, you'll build a bond based on sparks, not roots. And sooner or later, sparks fade. So the real question is, can you give her emotional depth without getting lost in the fire? That's the difference between a man who wants her and a man who understands her. Part 2. She's not hiding. She's surviving. Here's something most men get wrong. When a woman doesn't fully show herself right away, they think she's being fake, but she's not. She's filtering. Psychology fact number 2. Most women don't show you who they are. They show you who they want you to think they are. And you know what? It's not manipulation. It's survival. For generations, women have learned, consciously or not, that revealing too much too soon can be dangerous. Emotionally, socially, even physically. So she doesn't give you the raw, unfiltered version of herself up front. She gives you the version that feels safe, the one she believes you might value most. The question is, will you get frustrated by the mask? Or will you have the patience, the awareness, to see what's underneath it? Because the man who can look past the performance, who listens more than he talks, who senses what's unspoken, that's the man she starts to trust. Not the loudest guy in the room, not the one who tries to impress, but the one who's calm enough to see her. And when she feels seen without being judged, that's when the real her finally steps forward. And that's when everything changes. Part 3. She remembers how you made her feel, not what you said. There was a night Ethan barely spoke at all. He just listened steady, calm, fully present. When the evening ended, Leah smiled and said, "You didn't say much, but I felt deeply connected to you." Psychology fact number 3. The feminine senses energy before logic. And that right there is a truth most men overlook. You don't have to be charming. You don't need fancy words or clever lines. What she remembers is the energy you bring into the room. Did she feel safe around you? Did your presence calm her nervous system? Or did it feel like you were trying too hard to win something? Women don't fall for what you say. They fall for what you radiate. And when your presence says, "I'm not here to impress, I'm here to connect," that's when she begins to soften. Because the masculine that moves slow, that listens more than it speaks, that leads with grounded stillness, that's the man she doesn't forget, even if you barely said a word. Part 4, contrast, not consistency, is what makes her feel alive. You've been told women want stability, but here's the truth most men miss. Psychology fact number 4. Female brains are wired for emotional contrast, not stability. It's not chaos she craves, it's aliveness. And that doesn't come from being predictable or always available. It comes from the contrast in how you show up. Sometimes, your silence says more than your words. Sometimes, your steady presence is the anchor she didn't know she needed. Then, when you speak with calm intention, it lands. That emotional shift, from stillness to intensity, from mystery to presence, that's what leaves a mark on her nervous system. Think about it. The masculine that's always nice becomes forgettable. But the man who brings contrast, quiet but alert, calm but decisive, present but hard to read, he lives in her memory long after the moment has passed. Because it's not about being everything at once. It's about being real and letting her feel the edges of who you are. The contrast, that's what makes her feel truly drawn to you. Part 5. Mystery drives her wild, not compliments. Every man notices her beauty. Most tell her she's gorgeous. Many chase her instantly, obviously. But then there's you, calm, unmoved, quietly observing. Psychology fact number 5. The female brain reacts stronger to mystery than to flattery. You didn't compliment her. You didn't chase. You didn't fall into the trap of trying to impress. And suddenly, you're the only one she's thinking about. Why isn't he reacting like the others? Did I say something wrong? Does he even find me attractive? That mental tension, that loop of curiosity, is where the attraction actually begins. Because what triggers a woman's desire isn't being told she's beautiful. It's wondering why you're not saying it. And in that mystery, she begins to lean in, to look closer, to want to be seen by you. Not because you praised her, but because you didn't need to. That silence, that restraint, that calm self-respect, it's not indifference, it's power, and that power makes her curious, then hooked. Part 6. She tests you to feel safe, not to break you. You thought she was pulling away, silent, distant, maybe even a little cold. But what if I told you? She wasn't trying to push you away. She was trying to find your edge. Psychology fact number 6. Women test men not to break them, but to find out where they bend. Her silence isn't rejection. Her mood shift isn't manipulation. Her emotional waves are often unconscious tests to see if your presence is real, or just surface level charm that cracks under pressure. Because when a woman feels something real, she needs to know, can I trust this man when I'm not at my best? So she leans back. She gets quiet. She challenges your tone, your timing, your patience. Not because she's cruel, but because she's wired to search for emotional strength. If you chase, you fail the test. If you collapse, she pulls further. But if you remain grounded, calm, present, but unmoved by the storm, that's when her defenses start to melt. Because now she knows, you're not here just for the good times. You're here because you can be trusted. And trust is the doorway to everything deeper. Part 7. Only when she feels safe, she opens up. Psychology fact number 7. When a woman feels emotionally safe, she reveals her darkest truths. It doesn't happen when she's simply happy. It happens when she feels safe from judgment. That's when the deepest parts of her begin to surface. Not every silence is distance. Not every guarded look means she's hiding something from you. Sometimes it means she's waiting to see if you're grounded enough to hold the parts of her even she doesn't fully understand. You don't earn her trust by fixing her problems. You earn it by being still, by holding space when her emotions rise, and by staying true when she tests your steadiness. To understand her is to discover yourself. Ethan once wrote, "A woman's mind is a maze, but if you learn the map, she'll lead you to her heart, and to the parts of yourself you've never known." Most men approach women hoping to conquer, but a truly grounded man enters the connection with one deeper intention: to understand. Because the goal isn't to own her, it's to see her deeply, calmly, clearly. And in doing so, you start seeing yourself. You start noticing your own anger, your fear of being rejected, your need to react instead of staying silent and still. And once you're no longer driven by the urge to prove, you begin to lead, not with power, but with presence. Because this is not just the art of attraction, it's the art of becoming a man.